from the All Indiana Podcast Network. It's Diversity Focus Today. Now, here's your host, Ricky Solid Gold Clark.
And welcome everyone to another edition of Diversity Focus Today. I'm your host, Ricky Solid Gold Clark, along with our team today. Of course, we got the lovely and talented Dr. T, a.k.a. Tammy Harris. And we got, of course, well, we can't say lovely, but we can say handsome attorney Mike Murray. Mike, look like you're getting a little bit grayer, man. Did you use some greasing formula?
Got the haircut.
Got the haircut. Okay. I'm sitting over here looking at you, and there's something different about Mike. He got a haircut.
Got the haircut, showing all the gray.
Oh, okay. And, of course, we got our great producer, even though he's sitting over there, and our director. He came up with a joke a while ago about milk. We'll have to tell you about that later on, which I had never heard of. And I think I've heard of everything, but that one was a ringer.
Okay.
Anyhow, our program today is brought to you in part by Gino Shelton, who's having his 40th anniversary. If you don't know Gino has been a DJ in this market, now for 40 years, because come the end of September, as part of the Circle City Classic, he's having his 40th year anniversary with a concert, bringing in a lot of old school acts for that. And I'll have to remember some of the acts, but you'll see the commercial later on. Plus a big comedy show on Saturday. So, Gino, thank you for being one of our sponsors for this program. So we appreciate you. Okay, topics. This program is dealing with some of the response that we've got from a couple of our audience people. And Dr. T has that information over there. She got to put her glasses on
reading.
so she can see.
This comes from John Forges. He comes from Florida. I don't know the city right now, but he's from Florida.
From Florida. Yeah, we're everywhere. See, we reach all over.
And he wrote his comment to us. I appreciate the critical lens your podcast brings to current Republican leadership, especially in holding Trump accountable. That said, I'd love to hear a shift in the conversation toward building momentum within the Democratic Party. Who do you see as the true Democratic front runners for the next presidential election? And what tangible accomplishments or strategies have they brought forward during this Republican-dominated period that could inspire confidence among voters? I believe it's time we rally around at least two strong, credible Democratic candidates, especially ones with clear command of foreign affairs. Also, how do you see the influence of the progressive wing shaping the party's overall ability to win in 2026 and 2028? Can the Democratic Party unify and win with such broad ideological spectrum?
That's interesting.
Yes.
That
John Forges here in Florida.
Okay. See, our program reaches all over the world.
Thank you,
y'all.
John.
Thank you.
I think that was a very salient and timely question, because I think it's being asked by people all over the place.
Yeah.
Who are the Democratic frontrunners? Who really is going to have a real chance of upstaging the Republican wave that they seem to be trying to engineer right now? Yeah. I wonder it myself.
That's what I have to say. I started doing some kind of research and say, well, who is that? That's a good question. Because we get so tied up in trying to put out fires that turn into forest fires. I think that's probably another distraction tactic, not to focus on our own home.
Right. Okay.
What could we control and how?
Well, of course, I think probably the obvious throw-in there is Kamala Harris. Will we see her back on the national stage? I saw that she was on Stephen Colbert's show this past week, talking about whether she was going to run for governor of California.
Okay.
And I guess she put that idea out to pasture. She's
not.
She's not
going to do that.
But one of the interesting comments I thought she made was she said the system is broken.
Yes.
And she didn't want to be back in the system. Certainly, we all know the system is broken.
Right.
But I wonder, what does that mean? What does that portend for her political future? I thought she was a great candidate. I really liked her.
I did too. Well, we also have now Gavin Newsom, who cannot run again. He's the governor of California.
Yeah, he can't run as governor.
He can't run as governor. So, what's your thoughts on him, team? What do you think about?
I think he'd be a strong candidate.
I think he'll be a strong candidate, and that he is holding Trump accountable and bringing light to what's being broken in the system. And his state is already big enough, I think, to support federal, something like that. His constituents
it's
there.
the fourth largest economy in the world. So that's,
You're right. So he has the means and the know-how to kind of run it financially and probably help bring it back up, I would think. And then Crockett.
Well, sticking on Gavin Newsom for a second, you know, he's youngish. He's not 20-something, but he's younger than a lot of the candidates that we've seen on the national stage right now.
Yep.
So he's young.
He's young.
I think
What about
young women out there find him an attractive candidate, physically attractive. He speaks well. He's smart. I
What
think
about foreign policy? I guess that our listeners say. I don't know how really he deals with that.
Well, the governors of the states, particularly a state like that, have some international dealings and attracting business and dealing with international businesses in their states. I don't know what his credentials are to the fullest extent in terms of foreign policy, but he'll get it. Certainly the current occupant of the White House had
None.
no foreign policy.
So anything could be a step up in that.
And some would argue.
Even the cabinet, right?
Right. And I think some people would argue he still doesn't have any foreign policy experience.
Right. So.
Well, we got, so we have, whom else would one have? What about,
you mentioned Jasmine
Crockett?
Yeah.
Who's
she
the
has
congresswoman in
fire.
Texas?
Right.
She got a lot of fire.
She definitely got. And the know-how, she's very smart, intelligent.
Extremely intelligent
with
woman.
law, she's
a lawyer. That's her career.
She's a lawyer as well,
her,
so she definitely knows.
And everybody knows
policy.
lawyers are great, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
We know who got her vote, right? But is she too outspoken? You know, some people were saying she just talk, you know. And
well, I mean,
look
at who we have as president now.
Right.
I mean, he was outspoken campaigning and saying all kind of crazy things, but obviously it worked for him.
Well, it's interesting to me that when we start talking about a woman candidate, people tell me, is she too outspoken? I mean, don't you want a president
right.
be
divide president from that agenda.
Right.
You know, she's definitely a qualified person.
Extremely.
I think as much as Kamala was in her roles as well.
All right. So.
And then who's the Speaker of the House now? That gentleman.
Oh, Hakeem.
Hakeem. I think
Jeffries.
Kind of
that's
there.
That's certainly he was the one that Nancy Pelosi picked to take over her position there, and so he certainly has the charisma, has the knowledge, certainly has the experience being in the House for a number of years. So, you know, we got to keep an eye on him as well.
Do you think they're united within Congress and supporting each other? It seemed like it was kind of divided in itself.
Well, I think he could bring it back together. I mean, him being the minority leader of the House, I mean, he's got the respect of his team, of course.
He hadn't been there all that long. I wonder if he would want to leave that position at this point to make a bid for president. He's first black Speaker of the House.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. I mean, I think he's certainly capable, intelligent enough.
Yeah.
Certainly has a platform from which he could launch a presidential campaign, but I wonder strategically for the Democrats on the national level if they would want to move him out of that position.
Yeah, he's pretty powerful, especially if the Democrats get complete control of the House and the Senate.
Oh, we definitely got
his
to come
power
back to that.
Right.
Tenfold.
And Cory Booker. Senator Booker in New Jersey, he was the one that staged the long talk.
Filibuster.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he definitely, he started considering it once before for a run.
Yeah, I believe he did.
I think he
done well.
Kind of, stuck his foot in the water to see how warm it was.
So it seemed like we're naming a lot of African American.
Yeah, I was just going to make that same comment.
I'm like,
well, we got.
I mean, they're the ones standing out right now.
Yeah, they're standing out. Well, you got Pete Buttigieg.
Yeah, I like. Yeah.
That's.
He's second. What is he?
He was Department of
Transportation.
Secretary of Department of Transportation. Now he's just a citizen.
Right.
But I think I was told that he's thinking about perhaps running for a Senate office in Michigan.
Yeah, I read that as well.
Because he now lives in Michigan.
And Warren.
Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah,
Did she still
She's
got
a woman.
fight in her?
She does have fight. She does have fight. So that's a possibility. What about the gentleman that ran as vice president?
Tim
under
Kaine?
Is it?
Walz.
Tim Walz.
Recently under
Yeah.
Kamala, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, his name is still out there, and I thought he was a good vice presidential candidate.
He complimented Kamala.
Yes.
I think for that.
Right.
So.
And then if we look further, somebody who's not in politics, but who is a potential, who is a hell raiser, not locally, but, and I'm speaking of Stacey Abrams.
Oh, yeah.
Atlanta,
right?
Yeah, she's got a new book.
I was kind of hoping she would have done it before, actually.
She was on, one of the late nights, not Colbert, what's the other one? Give me some names. And not Jimmy. Kimmel, because he's on vacation, but Anthony Anderson was the host, and she was on the programs talking about her book and then some of the things that she has put in the book and some of the things that she has done. So she's still, and they asked her, said, would you be considering, or would you consider another run for political office? She said, I haven't ruled out governor.
Okay.
For Georgia, I've tried it twice. She said,
Right.
third time could be the charm.
Right.
Right.
Because she was the, in the state legislature, she was a minority leader for the state legislators in Georgia.
Right.
So.
And she's a successful author.
Yes.
I've read a couple of her books.
The love,
Yeah,
passionate novels. Okay.
So I think in answering the question from our viewer, our listener down in Florida, that would be, he is correct. We do need to start lifting up and seeing who is available and start talking more about what they're doing, since nobody has said, I'm going to run, at least not publicly.
Right.
Maybe you have to put an invite to our show.
Well, I know one other potential person that's kind of batted around is J.D. Pritzker, who's the governor of Illinois.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Also a billionaire.
Okay.
He probably has a pretty good head start in some of those discussions as well.
Okay.
He can go head to head on everything the current occupant might have to say. And it seems like people were very influenced by the fact that the current occupant is supposed to be, wealthy, a billionaire, whatever. J.D. Pritzker can certainly hold a candle to that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Got the
Okay. I forgot about him, but yeah. Is there anybody else that you could think of
off the top of my head?
off the top of the head?
Pennsylvania Governor Shapiro.
Josh Shapiro.
Josh Shapiro,
Yes.
yeah.
You see, Adam, you got value here. Yep.
Yeah, okay, yeah. 'Cause
I was duly impressed with him during
That's what I was
the
about to say.
Democratic convention
How
this
did we
past.
forget that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was very, very impressive.
And I've seen him on several of the late night talk shows. And yeah, he is. And for the things that he's done in Pennsylvania, lifted up the entire state in so many different categories.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's that. Well, what is that? We probably named about 11 or 12 different people,
Right,
that and there may be some other surprises, people just kind of thinking about it.
Right.
Now I wonder what other factors are really going to play: gender, race, wealth, location within the country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was just thinking the way it's crumbling now, it could be anything. It could save anything right now.
Okay. And now we got to take a break. Thank you for Geno Shelton's commercial, his big anniversary 4th coming up.
DJ Geno presents The Funk Fest, Friday, September 26th, with Doug E. Fresh. The Funk Fest with Confunction. And it's all the way live with Lakeside. There's more with Midnight Star, plus Al Hudson and One Way. Then September 27th, it's the Classic Comedy Jam. 2 shows at 7:30 and 11, starring D. Ray Davis. Plus, Just Hilarious, Earthquake, Tony Roberts, and Amber James. Get tickets at the box office and Ticketmaster.
And now we're back from the break. And so, we were talking about the potential Democratic candidates that may run for president. We're just throwing out names, plus we're going to talk about redistricting in this particular segment.
otherwise known as gerrymandering.
Gerrymandering, yeah. And you know there was a guy, and I found that out too earlier today, that the name gerrymandering actually comes from an individual who began to do that years ago. It kind of blew up in his face, but he's the one that started it. I want to think that it started in someplace on the East Coast. I just got somewhat of the bits and pieces of it, but that's not. I mean, that's an actual gentleman's name who tried to do that, and it just, he was going well for a while till the people got wind of it, what he was doing, and it just blew up.
Right.
Boom.
Oh, wow.
Of course, it's blowing up now down in Texas right
Yes.
now with what they're trying to do.
Right. Warrants and
Yeah, so in case anybody hadn't heard, the Democrats in the Texas legislature left the state in order to prevent a vote by the GOP-controlled legislature that would result in gerrymandered districts, voting districts, so that they could basically claim 5 more seats in the U.S. House of Representatives, which is a clear bid for the Republicans to hold on to power by any means necessary and insulate President Trump, the current occupant of the White House, from any kind of investigations or accountability by Democrats in the second half of his administration. And I read in the news that J.D. Vance is on his way to Indianapolis today to meet with Governor Braun to talk about redistricting here in Indiana.
Okay.
Yes. Unfortunate.
Had to do that to get in the call.
No, that's fine.
Okay. Well, we need to. People need to become aware of that. Gerrymandering political districts is one thing, because they're doing that to a lot of the neighborhoods throughout the country. So if that's what gerrymandering means, to come in and just redo everything, even if it's not fair. And normally they don't do that sort of thing until after the census. That's how it's all normally done. So
And I think one of the senators was trying to put in a motion to stop that, or to try to determine when it should happen, and not definitely in the midterms.
Yeah.
Right. Well, they're clearly aiming at these upcoming midterms, and it's a clear bid, as I said, to keep power and to protect the current occupant of the White House from accountability. And unfortunately, I think the John Roberts Supreme Court has kind of cleared the way for this kind of stuff to happen. Right. There was a decision in a case, Rousseau versus Common Cause, I think. It was a 2019 case where Chief Justice John Roberts, kind of swung the court to say that it was permissible for state legislatures to draw or redraw lines that favored one political party over the other. That has kind of been a reversal of years of Supreme Court decisions and years of jurisprudence that basically said you have to draw lines, in common sense ways around districts, and considering physical geography and things like that makes sense. So now these folks can draw lines any way they want to,
right.
in order
to
in order to favor one party over the other. Which really, in my opinion, it makes a whole game. It makes
and it's going to have
a
that
joke out of how this thing goes.
And then I had also mentioned earlier that even if they redraw, we still have the right to vote or change our vote of who we want to vote for, so they can redistrict. But if we are American, citizens, we are smarter than that. We should know this is not right, this is not fair, and to just vote what is right, whether it's red or blue. They can try to get those 5 seats, but if those flip to blue, then what are they going to do? So.
But what they're gambling on is, the current environment is highly partisan. People go, red or blue, and they're counting on people to stick to their parties regardless of what those parties are doing, regardless of what the leaders of those parties are saying, doing, and how they're acting. And so they it's a power grab.
And I think it's a distraction. So Epstein, throw it
distraction.
out.
Right.
Epstein.
Definitely.
They're trying to get those votes back from maybe who were,
Right.
but no, your morals know what's right. So it's a distraction, I believe.
Yeah, but remember, the current occupant of the White House is a person who said, I could go in Times Square and shoot somebody and they'll still vote for me. Right. So this person feels that he is untouchable, and I guess we're proving him right because nobody's holding him accountable.
And so Newsom saying that they'll switch theirs in other states.
Gavin Newsom, governor of California.
And they're one of the biggest, we said, constituents are part of funding.
Yeah, some of the democratically controlled state legislatures and
so
governorships.
he can gain just as many more or less if he.
Well, they're talking about doing stuff to counter what states like Texas are doing.
But they're trying to blame it on him because they're trying to say because he did it, but he didn't do anything.
No, they just.
So they
Well, people have to be a little bit more intelligent than just accepting these sound bites that partisan leaders are throwing out there.
And case in point with the flood, they tried to put this provision in when they're supposed to be talking about flood release. That's relief for
That's political
Texas.
Gamesmanship. They play these
What
games
and
pull these tricks in order to try to get their little things through without the people paying attention to it, without people noticing and taking up arms or raising up voices about those kinds of things. They do think people are stupid, and if if we let them get away with it, I guess we kind of prove we are stupid.
Well, the majority of who?
Yeah,
can't do that. But we'd also spoke about the potential Democrats that could be potential candidates or extremely, let's say, strong Democrats. We talked Gavin Newsom, of course, the governor of California. Mike, you mentioned about the governor of Illinois.
Yeah, J.D. Pritzker. He's a Democratic governor and a billionaire who can certainly take on the current occupant of the White House point for point, because people seem to think that the current guy has some merit because he's rich, because he's been successful in business, although there's quite a bit of debate as to how successful he's been in business.
Well, he's been, bankrupt 5 or 6 times, so that's not a sign of success to me. If you've been bankrupting your businesses at least 5 or 6 times, I mean.
Well, some people would say it's an effective legal strategy where the law allows you to do it. Why not do it?
Yeah.
But where you don't get is, you fail to pay people that should be paid. You fail to honor commitments. You use the legal system as a cudgel. You beat people over the head to force them into submission because you've got the money to spend and they don't. That's not really how the American system is envisioned.
Yeah, well, and he's not the only one. Although I just happened when you brought that up, the fact that Elon Musk has been sued by a number of smaller vendors, small businesses, because he hasn't paid them, and some of them have had to go out of business or bankrupt because they weren't getting paid. That has surfaced here recently, that he has done some of the same things that Donald Trump has done.
Birds of a feather.
Stick together. So, who else do we have that could be? We got less than 5 minutes. Democrats that we need to keep an eye on.
Talk about Crockett.
Jasmine Crockett out of Texas, a congresswoman out of Texas.
And Jude Jetterberg, what is his name?
The governor of Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Josh
Shapiro.
Yeah, Josh
Okay.
Shapiro.
Cory Booker out of
New
Jersey.
He was the one that staged the filibuster.
Right. Yeah.
Spoke.
Yeah.
Had a record.
Too much applause.
Too much.
Who's the Department of Transportation?
Oh, Pete Buttigieg.
Buttigieg. I said that.
Buttigieg.
Buttigieg, yeah. So, and of course, everybody would love to get who?
Who did you say, Amy?
AOC.
AOC.
Oh,
yes. AOC.
Yes. She
So-
would probably catch a lot of Hispanic votes there too.
Yeah.
Like even if they redistrict, because some of the towns in Texas I heard with the new line is Hispanic.
Well, AOC's in New York.
Oh,
she's in-
okay.
Yeah, she's a congresswoman in
Okay.
New York. So
Well,
yeah.
they can still gain the votes.
So so want to keep that in mind. So we got 2 minutes. Two minutes.
So free speech, free voice on entering questions and comments on our show.
Yeah. Tell them where to go. Again.
Facebook.com, that's Diversity Focus Today. And then on YouTube, Diversity Focus Today with Ricky Clark.
Okay.
So subscribe and like. Then we have our GoFundMe that is
Yes.
offering opportunity to be that voice for you. So you can check that out on both of those stations as well as all Indiana Today podcasts on Wish
Okay.
TV. And
like us.
Yep. Subscribe, follow, set comments, do it all. And we appreciate those from Papona Beach, Florida. And Phoenix,
Arizona.
Keep it coming in.
You know, Mikey said we have somebody in Germany.
Germany.
Germany, so
go.
we're all over the world.
Yay.
Advertisers, sponsors, come join our team
Yes.
to get your message across the entire world.
And you have your saying is?
My saying is, remember, it takes both black and white keys up a piano to play the Star Spangled Banner.
Yes.
Hoorah.
Love
And then
that.
I would
Like
say,
that,
with that
Ricky.
thought in mind, we now have to bid you a farewell, I do believe. Is it time?
Yes.
I saw him do the close, and I
He
seen
gonna
him
be
do the
like,
stretch. So I don't know
He gonna
if I'm
break you over
closing
his
or
knee.
stretching, but
Yes.
whatever. We got to go.
All right.
We'll see you next time around. All
See
right.
ya.
Thank you.
I have to remember because I'm getting older and handsomer.
Age of Grace.
What's that, age of grace?
Grace.
But I don't have women knocking on my door.
Aging like a fine milk.
Fine milk.
Yogurt.
Fine milk. I thought you were expecting fine wine. You know,
Cottage
fine milk.
cheese.
Milk gets stale.
No, it turns into cottage cheese.
Sour.
Yeah, I know you
Boy,
heard. Give you a hard time.
I know. He's already started on me. Okay, yeah. He didn't. Hard time. You're right. He does. I never heard that
Good
one.
for me.
Okay. Made me lose my train of thought, boy. I got to go back into the dairy barn and bring out the milk.
You haven't heard that one?
I never heard that before. Whew. You've been on the farm, Alan. Okay, I'm ready.